Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the WWF. I'm Diana, and here there is also
Malco.
Welcome back. Today we are going to talk about how to return to life after a trip. Because returning to our normal life after a holiday can be a bit tricky. Doesn't matter if it was just for a couple of days or for visiting your family. But when we disconnect from our everyday life, then going back is a little bit jaggering and difficult. So we can recollect some tips that maybe can help you with this transition. So yeah.
Absolutely. I do think that after you've been on a trip, there's a couple of things that we tend to make mistakes with. We always try and rush back in, and some other things we'll talk about. But yeah, it's important to get that bit of the holiday right, because the holiday isn't just about visiting where you're going. It's also about how you come back and what you do after that.
Exactly. In fact, the first tip is just give yourself a little bit of time after your holiday, if it's possible, because sometimes it's not possible. But if you can, just have at least a day before going back straight to work in which you reset yourself and just unpack and sleep, because sometimes when we go back to our life, we are so tired by the travel, not because the travel was tiring itself, but because, we're just tired by the holiday.
Yeah.
And we need to prepare ourselves mentally to go back to work or to university or wherever it is that we do.
Absolutely. I do think that after a big trip, the adrenaline is still pumping. And even on the trip, per se, no matter where you're visiting, being in a new place and exploring new areas, you're always alert, you're always excited. And sometimes you don't even get that much sleep on your holiday because you're thinking about the next thing you're doing the next day. You're excited. You don't want to go to sleep. You go out late. So having that buffer day to calm down and get back to normal is extremely important.
Yeah, exactly. So go back to your schedule, to your routine, but also go back to, start to eating healthy again, sleep well, and do exercising, because when we go on holiday, we relax ourselves. We don't exercise that much because it's a holiday.
Yeah,
I mean, why should we exercise?
It's so true.
We need to enjoy ourselves when we are on holiday. And when we go back to our life, maybe the time zone is different, so we need to just get the jet lag and sleep more, eat well, so you have more energy. And another thing is just to enjoy, everything that you lived during the holiday and the first, few days of being back home, because maybe you want to visit your family, your friends, going out to your favorite restaurant, eat your favorite food. Do that, because why not? Enjoy also this part of, post-holiday. And then be ready to go to work or to university.
I think that's a good point you've made there. And I think it ties into keeping the holiday mindset alive. Just because you've got back home after your holiday doesn't mean that it's over. Now I'm getting back to my normal routine. You've got to find small ways to carry that holiday feeling with you for as long as possible. So as you said, go for a meal at your favorite restaurant, or, just go to, what I find myself doing is, especially dependent on where I've been visiting. If I was visiting a city that had beautiful parks, maybe in my own home city now, I'll just go to the park and try and take in that new feeling of, maybe I can explore my city as well. And maybe my city has some of those things that I was seeing on holiday. And that just keeps you feeling like not only are you back from holiday, you've also learned something new and taken on a new aspect in your personality.
Yeah, exactly. Because after each holiday, we change, because we experience new things, and we are not the one we used to be before holiday. We are a completely different person. So also this, enjoying being a different person.
Yes.
And and have fun talking with your friends, your family about the trip, but what you have learned during the holiday. And sometimes people don't really want to listen to yourself talking about travel, so also be aware of this. Talk about your travel, your experience with who are really interested and hearing you.
Yes.
So yeah.
I think it's important to share. It's important to share your journey. Yeah.
And also another thing that is important, I mean, sometimes we are lazy after coming back home, is to unpack your suitcase as quickly as possible. Don't leave it there, because sometimes a day becomes days and a weeks and sometimes also months because we are lazy to time. And when we unpack everything, then we already put order in our mind. We clean all the things that are dirty, and a tip that is connected to this is to just before going to a holiday, clean your house, clean your room, clean everything that you can, because after that you come home, you want just to relax again, and you don't want to come home to a house that is just dirty and in a chaotic situation. So
Absolutely. The best thing you can do, the best present you can give yourself when you leave for a holiday is to clean, because when you come back and you come back to a clean house, it's amazing. A lot of times you don't even have the ability, depending on how long the holiday is, you can't leave food. But if you can leave some food, if the holiday isn't too long, leave something in the fridge so that you're preparing for when you come back for the holiday. You want to be able to be in a clean house, have food, because one of the worst things is that you come back from your holiday, you're hungry, you've had a long trip, and your next thing is like, okay, what's for dinner? So what have I got to do? So if you can do some of that stuff before you leave, it would just be better. Yeah.
Exactly. So, prepare about your post-travel also before going to travel.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, process your trip when you come home with also journaling, because sometimes it can help. Or look through your photos, and something that can really helps you is to decide where you want to go next, as you were saying before. It doesn't have to be a big trip, just also going to a coffee shop or going for a day to a new town nearby, something small that can keep you alive with this desire to travel, to disconnect yourself from everyday life.
Yes, you're so right. I think one of the greatest things you get from a holiday or a trip is creativity. And who's to say that when you were on your trip, you didn't meet someone who sparked a new trip idea in you? If you had gone to Switzerland, maybe you met someone who told you, oh, you like Switzerland? Have you been to Norway? Norway is nice. So when you come back from your holiday, it also gives you a moment to think about where my next trip is, or how I want to travel, or as you said, journaling about the trip you've just had. It's important to remember the lessons and the experiences that you were able to learn on that holiday, because that is a big reason as to why we travel, And I think that's pretty much what I would have to say, is like, just keep the momentum going, because the idea is not only am I doing one trip and never traveling again. The idea is to fall in love with traveling. It's to travel as much as possible, discover as much of the world as you can. So it's nice.
I mean, at the end of all, we need to enjoy ourselves.
Yes.
So have fun while we're traveling, have fun even if we are not traveling. And if we're not traveling, have traveling with our head,
Absolutely.
with our imagination.
I agree.
Also, for me, Pinterest is a great friend when it comes to this. I like to just do a mood board about where I want to go next and keep the vibes on. So yeah,
absolutely. I fully agree. Well, I think that's the trip. That's the points we have. I don't know if you have any to add, but I would just say, finally, just travel as much as possible.